Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. We're going back to the normal format of pre-recorded shows in the mornings, Eastern Standard Time, and then doing lives in the afternoon. I'm just not able to reach all of the questions and everything that everybody's looking for during that period of time. So it's tough. It's tough. So we're going to keep the lives for members only at 8 p.m. and we'll do the pre-recordeds now. Covering pre-recordeds now, we have what? Solana. Solana has been having network issues, and what they're saying is, hey, we suggest, or we believe we will have that done by April 15th. So by United States tax day, they should solve their problem. We shall see, and we will hold them to it. What's next? Coinshares. Coinshares is saying there's a decrease in the amount of hype surrounding Bitcoin spot ETFs, kind of suggesting that there's going to start to be a decline in that, in those inflows, even though year to date, those inflows total above $13 billion. Now, do I agree with a decline? I don't agree with a decline. I do agree with possibly a slowing down of, but I also think that as it's slowing down, there's going to hit the halving event, and then the realization is going to settle in. And that's when you're going to have more people trying to get in, because what they're going to start to realize is things are going to get more scarce. Facts. I think that scarcity is going to force people in. And that's when we're going to really see how the market actually settles out. My humble opinion. The CEO of Blockstream. Now, this is nutty. Blockstream happens to be, a DPINs play, a decentralized physical infrastructure network play. Good company. But the CEO of Blockstream is saying, listen, Defiance, which is an ETFs company, exchange traded funds, or electronically traded funds, whichever one you subscribe to, they are looking at they filed paperwork for creating a short on MicroStrategy. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, you have a 2x short on MicroStrategy of all the companies. And he's just like, yeah, I don't see how you're playing that out. And I have to actually agree with that. I don't see how that's going to work out. I think there are going to be a lot of people that get involved in that just because they don't believe that Bitcoin is what it pretends to be. It is. But to short MicroStrategy, that's cojones right there. That's a big leap, in my opinion. Nigeria has a Nigerian court is actually going to hold the executive that's there, or two of the executives that are there, in jail. They're saying that they have to be incarcerated. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, this is panning out to be very interesting. And I want to see what the details are, other than wagging of fingers. I haven't heard any, facts come out from this other than the harshness of Nigeria. And I really think, Stitch, where are you? Oh, there you are. He's laying on the floor now. He'll get up in a little while. But I need to see the facts behind it all. What's the case? What's the driving force right there? And I'm not seeing it. Something else that shocked me, there's a hardware company called Palm, a hardware wallet company. And they're saying that we could use Palm technology to establish real people on the Ton blockchain. And I want you to think about this. What they're saying is that, first of all, I think it's a bad idea, just because I think WorldCoin is a bad idea, because they're capturing your iris measurements and they want to capture your palm. So I'm not feeling either one of that biometrics data collection service. I'm not liking that at all. Anyway, what does it say that it's enough of a problem where Palm thinks this is an opportunity? Right? Are you saying that on Ton chain, or on Ton coin, that whole blockchain, that there are nefarious people that you don't know that are people? They could just be electronically made, and now you're trying to figure out, here's a way to prove that you're a real human being? Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting, because then you would actually see who's got multiple wallets, that kind of thing. Who's going to do that? Nobody's going to do that. I don't think that's going to happen. That's not going to be a thing. I think enthusiasts might do it. That's about it. But that adds to why I don't mess with Telegram, and I'm not messing with Tonguecoin. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not feeling it. I think there are just too many shenanigans going on in that space. Excuse me. And there could be really good people involved and all that good stuff, but I just can't do it. I just can't. I can't see myself playing around with that. Coinbase is reportedly investigating vulnerabilities in Base that could leave meme coins open. So they're investigating it right now, and I just thought I'd let you guys know in case you're playing around with those meme coins on Base. Now, here's a really big problem. The Philippines have come down so hard against Binance to shut it down in the country that now some Binance users are saying they can't get their funds. They can't get to their assets. That's a problem. Might have to slip over to using a VPN. But see, I think the problem comes in, it's not that you have to use a VPN. I think Binance already knows that you're in the Philippines and just shut it down. Like, you're in the Philippines, we're not going to take the chance, so we've got to shut you down. It's sort of like in the United States. You can't use Binance.com. You have to use Binance.us, and Binance.us is under fire from the United States government. It's also, if you were using Binance.us and lived in New York and you wanted VeChain, my problem, you can't buy VeChain. You can't buy VeChain unless, somebody could send it to you on a wallet that you already have, but you can't buy it. That's not cool. So yeah, there are people with funds sitting in wallets, and that's not a small problem. There are lots of people around the world sitting in that have assets sitting in wallets that they can no longer access because of some kind of government crackdown that forces the companies involved to shut that down. That's one of the reasons why, and it's for me, it's like $100. But this is one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about non-custodial wallets. Centralized. As soon as the wind blows, something could go wrong with a centralized exchange. In the United States, look at Kraken, look at KuCoin. Even Coinbase has a court case right now. You can easily see how, if you've got the bulk of your assets sitting on a chain, and they're not your assets, by the way, not your keys, not your crypto, you could see how that could easily become a problem. Hence, I keep the bulk of my money, unless I'm about to execute. The bulk of my assets are sitting in non-custodial wallets. Just saying. Now, back to that whole Coinshares thing about, the popularity of spot ETFs, Bitcoin spot ETFs, losing some of the hype. In China, apparently, there's tons of hype. There are 5 companies out there that are looking to start ETFs based out of Hong Kong. And I reported, I think a week or two ago that, there were some companies, and now it's like, no, this is like gaining steam. That's big. That's really big because, number one, it's China. 2, and, China's not feeling crypto, supposedly. They already have their CBDC, right? That's why I find this to all be interesting. I want to see how that all plays out. And I want to see what kind of money flows in that direction, right? Because it's not just going to be Asian money. I can guarantee it. Now, Metaplanet and Sora Ventures partner to create a sort of micro strategy in Asia. And I'm wondering if they understand what that means. MicroStrategy was a regular business. They were doing things, and then they started getting into crypto. They got the backing, and they kept doing it, blah, blah, blah. Now they're saying that they want to turn into a development company on Bitcoin and still doing their whole Bitcoin purchasing thing. I'm sitting back, is that what this company is going to do? Like, what's the game plan? Because anybody can buy Bitcoin. Anybody can buy Bitcoin. So I just want to see how that actually plays out. One-Inch Network partners with Mastercard. Now, this is interesting. One-Inch Network combines with Mastercard, partners with them to create an easier way to on-ramp funds into crypto using a debit card. And I'm like, oh, actually, they're going to create a debit card. And I'm just like, wow, so how does that work? You can on and off ramp? Meaning I've got a debit card that's going to draw from, because I think that's the Mastercard product. the credit card companies are trying to get into the crypto space. But if you know how crypto works, I don't really need a credit card company to pull any of that off. Except they're saying, well, you've got these digital assets. They're worth something. We can help you utilize that value in regular stores because these stores already accept these credit cards. And there you go. And I'm sitting back and I'm kind of going, yeah, that's slick for now until those stores start saying, hey, I'm losing money to the credit card companies. Why don't I just go direct? See what I mean? So, for example, if you host with my company, Rebel Reach, and you have, a storefront or an e-commerce business, you can be accepting crypto directly as opposed to going through a third party that's going to charge you significantly. Anybody in business knows accepting credit cards is expensive. That's why a lot of companies are like, yeah, we're just cash only. Our favorite, pizzeria, they're cash only. No matter how much you spend, they're cash only. Have a party of 20? Come with cash. They do not do, and they don't do debit cards either. They want cash. Cash. That's an old Italian spot. Cash. And you know what? I'm all about it. I'm all for it. The reason why is because if you live by cash, you won't live beyond your means. If you're not living beyond your means, you probably manage your money well. That's what I'm talking about. BCB Group is moving all of their assets, all of their client assets, their custodial services, over to Medico's platform. And that's actually pretty interesting because that's a big win for Medico. Do some research on Medico. They've got a lot of partnerships in place that make it so that, they're going to be out there for a minute. They're definitely part of that whole connective tissue piece, except private company. Hard to get involved in that. Central banks. This is really, really big. I hope you pay attention to it. Central banks are looking to tokenize various assets, obviously tied to CBDCs. How are they going to do it? I told you about this way back in March. I think like March 4th or something like that in 2022, right? When they partnered with Singapore, Australia, Malaysia, and South Africa to get started on this, on their blockchain. And now they have more countries that are interested. I told you, news comes with different legs. Hey, we're going to do something. Hey, we're doing something. Hey, we're still doing something. Hey, it's going well. Hey, we did it. And hey, now people are even more interested. I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going right now. And we should be paying attention to that because CBDCs, it's going to take a lot for me to feel comfortable with CBDCs, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. And you can ask me about that later on during the one-on-one during our live tonight at 8 p.m. I do a live every weekday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you should check it out. We actually have long conversations deeper conversations about different things like, should you be doing on-chain analysis? Andy asked me about that. Different wallets that you could be using. What's the difference between, regular wallets and other wallets? Plus, one of the reasons why I wrote the book is so that people can get a better understanding about that, which is why we have Crypto Foundations for Building Multi-Generational Wealth. Check it out on Amazon. Anyway, what's next? Peter Brandt, Arthur Hayes, Ben Cowan, they all have something in common. You know what they're saying? What they're saying is that they believe after the halving event, Bitcoin's going to take a dive. And I had to stop and think about that. I had to play that out in my head. And I'm like, that actually kind of makes sense, right? Big halving event, big news, takes a dive before, again, everything settles down and people start to realize there are not 900 Bitcoin being mined every day. There are only 450. And I think that's when a rush could happen. So if I'm looking at that scenario, that's the scenario I see. But yeah, Peter Brandt, Arthur Hayes, and Ben Cowan, that's what they're thinking right now. And you know what? It's not that I think it would take a huge dive, but I can definitely see how it could rise up just before, take a dive, as sort of a correction, but then shoot up because people realize, holy smokes, wait a minute, there's a scarcity around this. That's what I'm looking for. Plus, you have a lot of conferences going on right now, and if you don't know, conferences bring news. Projects that do conferences are at those conferences because they're bringing news. One of the guys that I watch on YouTube, he's over in France right now, and then there's another one that happens in Dubai. There are conferences all over the place, and what I tend to do is I try to search out all the conferences. Number one, to see if I'm going to go. Two, to see who's presenting. Because if you're presenting, you're going to have news. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for those events because I can buy before you open up your mouth and then see what happens after that. Let's suppose I identify 5 different companies that are making the rounds, and I go, I'm going to buy. What? One of them messes up? 4 of them take off? That's what I think is going to wind up happening. Because then I can just sit back and I can wait for the news to hit. I can buy while it's low right now and then wait for the news to hit. And as soon as that news hits and everything spikes, because it's a spike. It's called a spike for a reason, because it shoots up and then comes back down. It doesn't have to come back down all the way to where it was and retrace, but it comes back up, creating that point. Now, if I can wait to see when that spike happens or when my number gets satisfied, maybe I'm waiting for a 20% spike on this particular one. Maybe I'm waiting for a 20% spike, 30% spike, 10% spike. But when that spike happens, I pull out. Whether that spike keeps going or not, I pull out my money because I've made the percentage that I set. That's discipline. And we can get into that later. Anyway, what else is up? The SEC is delaying the decision. I know. They've delayed on so many decisions, but this one's different. It's a decision on Bitcoin options trading or ETF options trading. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, yeah, of course they are. Hey, you. Good morning. This is Stitch, everybody. Good morning, buddy. I was waiting for you to hop up. Yeah, look at the camera. Say hi. So for me, we're waiting to find out, when are they going to do it? And why are they saying no so far? And I'm sitting back and I'm just going, there's no reason to say no. There's no reason at all to say no. Don't get it. So they're talking about options trading. You have futures trading. What's your problem? Anyway, you know what we should do? We should get into the numbers. And we can get into the numbers real quick. There you go. Alrighty. So the fear and greed index, I told you it was going to shoot up. It did, shot up. It was 76 yesterday, shot up to 80 today. Don't forget, we do have numbers coming out, not today, but tomorrow. You have the consumer price index. I think Thursday you have the producer price index. You've got a lot of numbers that are going to come out that are going to definitely paint a picture about the U.S. economy, and we should be paying attention to those numbers from a higher level. DeFi Llama, still at 129 billion. We lost a couple of bucks right there, but hovering around that same spot. I like the 120 to 130 range. I'm waiting for it to go above 130, but to go above 130, we need other things to happen, and I think we're on our way. Now, what's going on the big board? Again, we're still over my 69,355 number. We're over that right now. It's 70,810 about. Or 793. It's changing. Now again, look at where all my bars are. We started at the yellow band, then we had the light blue band, almost violet, then we had the blue band, and we're starting a green band, but I have to see that we actually stay above this number for a period of time. And I don't know that we're going to do that. I think we could plunge below again into the 60s, offering us another opportunity to dollar cost average and get in. Excuse me, and then sell when it comes back up. But we'll have to see if it maintains, because it looks like it wants to maintain another range right around here. Because look at this. That was a minute, a little dip right there, but that was a minute that it traded very close to that line. What else do we have on the big screen? Come on, load up. There you go. On the big screen, you've got a few things that are down. Doge is down big, down 5%. You have to ask yourself why. SHIB is only down 1%. I think SHIB is actually going to do very well this bull run. I think it's going to do like ridiculously well. I think we're going to see multiples on SHIB. I think we're going to see really good multiples on SHIB. Same thing for Ethereum. I think we not huge multiples, but I think we could see a multiple on Ethereum. Again, Toncoin not touching. It's up 15%. I'm still not touching it. I know I'm crazy. It's just a thing for me. I don't trust anything that has anything to do with Telegram. Just don't. Period. Dog with Hat is down a little bit. H-bar is down. So all the ones that I'm kind of into right now, except for Matic, is down a little bit, even though Matic's been dead silent so far, right? It's been dead silent. But I think Matic is going to come back because Matic's been doing a lot of stuff on the infrastructure side and less stuff on the outside, like with dApps and things like that. But they still have a ton of dApps. People think, oh, everybody's going to Solana and Avalanche. Some are. But still, they've got a lot, and more are coming. So that's why I kind of like them, because they're also, as a project, they're venturing a lot more into stretching out and getting into, decentralized finance and other things. That's why I like them, right? I do like Solana. Don't get me wrong. I do like Solana. Look at that number at where Solana's at right now, 176. Weren't they just above 200? To me, I think that when they fix the problem, it's going to go back up. So am I going to get back in? Am I going to get back in now? Not back in, but am I going to add more now? I would. I absolutely would. Just saying. That's something that I would look at. Looking at the big board, you can actually see that Bitcoin is up 67% year to date. When you look at the last 24 hours, it's down 2%. I know. He wants his pets. If he doesn't get his morning pets, he has an issue, and I'm not trying to have an issue with a cute dog. My mother calls him floppy ears. Come here. All right, so what else do we have? Looking at all these numbers, I'm still looking at Solana being up 73.53%. Again, that's a dip down from what it's done in the past. So I'm paying attention to that. Doge is actually up 120. Toncoin is up almost 200. Last night it wasn't that high when we were looking at it on the live. Avalanche is up 25%. Shiba Inu, 175% year to date. Not far behind that, Bitcoin Cash. You're a big baby. Holy moly. Yeah, he wants to be on camera. I'm sorry. But really, that's about it for today. That's Eddie J on crypto for Grow My Bag. Don't forget, get the book, Crypto Foundations for Building Multi-Generational Wealth. That is actually on Amazon in a paperback version and a hardcover, as well as just check out and become a member so you can actually take part in all the member benefits on YouTube. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.